Oh, Vikings, let's win this game.
The Vikings are facing important decisions on both sides of the ball. Questions surrounding J.J. McCarthy are growing as Kyler Murray pushes for the starting job, while two young cornerbacks are making noise in training camp. Let's break down the four biggest stories coming out of Minnesota today. The concerns surrounding J.J. McCarthy are no longer limited to whether he can eventually develop into a franchise quarterback. People around the NFL are now wondering how much longer the Vikings coaching staff will wait for him to deliver. The young passer finished 34th among 35 veteran quarterbacks in Mike Sando's 2026 quarterback tiers survey for The Athletic. He remained in Tier 4, but fell 6 positions compared to last year, receiving 39 Tier 4 votes, 10 Tier 5 votes, and only 1 vote, placing him in Tier 3. Those 10 Tier 5 votes are particularly concerning because they were reportedly the second most in the survey's history for a first-round quarterback entering his third NFL season. Only Anthony Richardson received more at the same point in his career. One NFL executive focused on his mechanics, specifically the tendency to climb the pocket unnecessarily and overthrow passes, while questioning how Kevin O'Connell and quarterbacks coach Josh McCown would respond if those mistakes continued. That criticism is significant because both coaches played the position. They understand quarterback development, value proper fundamentals, and should theoretically provide an excellent environment in which to improve. Another offensive coach delivered an even more direct assessment, saying that football simply looks difficult for McCarthy. That may be the most damaging criticism of all. The former first-round selection still possesses arm strength, athletic ability, mobility, and toughness. But evaluators remain concerned that his experience in Michigan's offense did not fully prepare him to handle a high-volume NFL passing attack. Development was always going to be required, but Minnesota has constructed a roster designed to compete now. With Justin Jefferson and several other expensive established veterans in place, the organization cannot treat another season as an extended evaluation period. The situation has also changed at the organizational level. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the general manager responsible for selecting him, is no longer in that position, while Kyler Murray has entered the picture and is reportedly viewed as the favorite to win the starting job. The younger quarterback must now prove that he can remain healthy, operate the offense consistently, and correct the issues with his pocket movement and accuracy. One executive suggested that lowering expectations might be a fairer approach heading into year 3. He does not need to become elite immediately to rescue his Vikings career, and his toughness still gives him a chance. The central question is whether O'Connell and the Vikings will remain patient long enough to discover if he can become Minnesota's long-term answer. While J.J. McCarthy faces growing criticism, Kyler Murray is receiving support from FS1 analyst Colin Cowherd. The analyst believes the veteran's struggles in Arizona were partly the result of an organization that failed to provide him with enough support. He criticized the Cardinals' ownership, offensive line spending, coaching decisions, and overall roster construction, noting that the team consistently had one of the weakest rosters in its division and produced only one Pro Bowl offensive lineman during the Murray era. Despite those conditions, the quarterback recorded 20,460 passing yards, 121 touchdowns, 60 interceptions, and a 92.2 passer rating across 87 games with the Cardinals. Cowherd believes Minnesota offers greater stability and is more willing to invest in important pieces. Kevin O'Connell designs the offense. Brian Flores leads an aggressive, well-supported defense. And Justin Jefferson is one of the NFL's premier offensive weapons. The Vikings have also demonstrated a willingness to pay key players, including Jefferson and their left tackle. Those advantages could allow Murray to produce one of the best seasons of his career if he wins the competition. Cowherd projects that his career passer rating of approximately 92 could rise to 99. His completion percentage could improve from 67 to 68%, and his touchdown to interception ratio could jump from roughly 2 to 1 to 3 to 1. He stopped short of predicting that the former Cardinals quarterback would match the level Sam Darnold previously reached in Minnesota, but he still expects him to flourish. The most interesting part of the argument involved Murray's reputation as a leader. Cowherd acknowledged that he is not a perfect quarterback and still has questions about his leadership, but suggested that some of his more selfish tendencies may have developed because he did not trust the people running the organization in Arizona. He compared the situation to working for a bad boss in an unhealthy environment, where talented employees can become isolated and start doing things their own way when they lose faith in the people around them. Minnesota is betting that a change of surroundings can produce a different result, but the opportunity must still be earned. Murray has to defeat McCarthy, learn O'Connell's offense, and build chemistry with his new teammates. If Cowherd is correct, the Vikings may have acquired a quarterback capable of transforming the offense immediately. Quick favor: subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the latest Vikings news. The Vikings are also searching for additional depth in their secondary. Minnesota officially announced the signing of cornerback Jarod Washington, while waiving running back K'Jon Owens with a non-football illness designation. At first glance, this might look like a routine training camp transaction, but the new addition has a combination of size and speed that makes him an intriguing player to watch. The undrafted rookie out of South Carolina State previously spent time with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Kansas City Chiefs. At 6'2" and 188 pounds, he has the type of length teams value on the outside. Washington also demonstrated exceptional speed at the East-West Shrine game, where he reportedly reached 21.33 miles per hour, the fastest mark recorded at the event. During his college career, the young defender registered 22 solo tackles and 4 interceptions in 24 games. There is no guarantee that he will make Minnesota's final roster, but the Vikings do not have overwhelming depth at cornerback, creating a genuine opportunity for someone with that athletic profile. Brian Flores has a history of finding specific roles for defensive players based on their individual strengths, so Washington could become a developmental option if he adjusts quickly to the system. Even if he is not ready for regular defensive snaps, his speed could help him compete for a position on special teams. This is a low-risk move for Minnesota. If the signing does not work, the Vikings can move on without sacrificing meaningful assets. If it does, they may have found an inexpensive young contributor after 2 other teams passed on him. The move could also provide an early example of new general manager Nolan Teasley's background in scouting and talent evaluation. Washington will have to earn his place during camp and the preseason, but a player capable of helping in multiple phases of the game can become more than a routine addition at this time of year. Jarod Washington may be the newest cornerback in Minnesota, but Charles Demmings is already generating significant attention. The 5th-round rookie from Stephen F. Austin has impressed Brian Flores with his confidence, energy, work ethic, and daily improvement. The defensive coordinator praised him for working on his footwork and hand placement during individual drills, before applying those techniques in group and team periods. That progression matters, because athleticism alone will not be enough to succeed at one of the most difficult positions in football. Demmings is also receiving valuable experience against an outstanding group of Vikings receivers, including Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Jauan Jennings. Reporters have already noted his performance during 7-on-7 drills, including competitive repetitions against Jefferson. His response to facing one of the best receivers in football revealed the mentality that has helped him stand out. The rookie explained that he cannot look across the field and become overwhelmed, because the opponent is Justin Jefferson. In his mind, it must simply be another receiver standing across from him. That is not disrespect. It is the confidence a cornerback needs to survive. Demmings also produced consistently at Stephen F. Austin, recording 63 total tackles, 35 pass breakups, and 9 interceptions in 42 games. He finished the 2025 season with a career-high 4 interceptions. That college production and his strong start to camp have placed him firmly in the conversation for the final 53-man roster. Isaiah Rodgers and James Pierre are expected to handle the primary outside cornerback roles, while Byron Murphy Jr. should continue working from the slot. That leaves Demmings and Dwight McGlothern as leading candidates for the primary backup positions on the perimeter. The competition is not over, with Davion Armstead, Caliph Halisi, and Washington continuing to fight for their own opportunities. The 5th-round pick is still far from securing a starting job, and his practice success must eventually translate to preseason games. Nevertheless, Flores's public praise is a meaningful sign. If the rookie maintains this level of performance, the question may no longer be whether he makes the team, but how quickly the Vikings are willing to give him a role in their defense. The Minnesota Vikings are dealing with two very different types of competition. At quarterback, the pressure surrounding J.J. McCarthy continues to grow as evaluators question his development and Kyler Murray attempts to take advantage of his fresh start. McCarthy still has the tools and toughness to change the conversation, but he must begin showing real progress. Murray, meanwhile, has an opportunity to prove that a better organization and a stronger supporting cast can unlock the best football of his career. At cornerback, Jarod Washington is arriving as an athletic long shot with intriguing physical traits, while Charles Demmings is already forcing the coaching staff to take him seriously. Both competitions will become much clearer once the preseason begins. Who do you believe should be the Vikings' starting quarterback? And which young cornerback has the better chance of making an impact? Charles Demmings or Jarod Washington? Leave your answers in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more Minnesota Vikings news. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay tuned. Skol Vikings. Let's go.